So if you're heading to Rome, one of the first things you're gonna do is you're gonna probably wanna get pizza. But before you do, there are a few things you need to know. For example, most people don't know this, but there are 4 types of pizza in Rome. There is the Napolitan pizza. That's probably the most classic pizza. It's a hand-tossed pizza. It's associated with Naples, Italy, and it's all over the world. And a lot of people think when they go to Rome and they go into a restaurant, that's the kind of pizza that they're gonna get. But it is true if it's a Napolitan style restaurant, but there are lots of pizzerias in Rome. The predominant pizza is actually what they call a Roman round pizza or a Roman pizza. It's quite different from the Napolitan style pizza than the traditional pizza. It's actually a pizza that's rolled out, not hand tossed, but it's rolled out. And the crust is just really, really thin. And then they take the sauce and they take it all the way to the edge. And then they put the toppings on. And the very edges of the pizza, when it's in that oven, kind of burnt, kind of like smoky flavor. And if it's done right, that's how it's done. And that just adds a little bit of mystery to the pizza, a little bit of interesting, crust texture. But overall, it's more about the toppings than it is about the crust. In fact, you can hardly even taste the crust because it is so thin. And then there's a pizza called the Pinsa Pizza. It's neither hand-tossed, nor is it rolled out. It's actually a certain type of dough that's leavened. It's a process. It takes like 72 hours, 3 days or so to rise. And then it's supposed to be easier on the digestion system. And then also, instead of being rolled out, it's actually a stretched out dough. And it's quite a bit different than both the Roman style and the Napolitan style pizza. And the last style of pizza that you get in Rome is called Taglio style. And that's where you're gonna see most of the takeaway places. That's the most common. It's all over Rome. It's when you walk in the window and there's like 20 different pizzas displayed on these big flat like squares. And they go in there and they cut it with scissors to the size you want. You just point to the flavor you want or tell them which flavor you want. And they'll give you 2 or 3 different flavors if you want that. So those are the 4 types of pizza. You've got the Napolitan pizza, you got the Pinsa pizza, you got the Roman pizza, and you got the Taglio pizza. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy videos about Rome, please consider subscribing. The water's warm, jump on in. So now I'm gonna take on a tour of some of my favorite pizzerias in Rome. And at the end, I'm gonna share with you my favorite style and my overall favorite pizzeria in all of Rome. Let's start now with the Napolitan style pizzas. I've created this map here and we're gonna click here to the Napolitan styles. I picked 2 that stood out above the others. One of them is Pizzeria Mariuccia. Big dog status, I'm a big dog vet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette. Ride around the city with a stick all black. Try with a stroke, we win. It's located right down here. See if you recognize where this is. This is the Tiber River here. See these canopy tops? That is Campo dei Fiori, and right in the corner is the pizzeria. Now this pizzeria really stood out because first of all, the interior dining was very nice. It's very clean. It's quite large, so you can seat quite a few people, and it's a busy place. So, depending on when you get there, you still may have to wait a little bit in line, but they also had some outdoor dining as well, seating that you could sit out right at the edge of the piazza there, which was quite pleasant. So for Napolitan style pizza, this place was wonderful. This place is definitely worth stopping at. And the other pizzeria Napolitan style that I picked is right down here in the Trastevere neighborhood. It's on this main road. It's called Pizzeria 77. I tried probably more than 10 different Napolitan pizzerias in Rome. And for every pizzeria, there's 5 or 6 of the Roman style to every one of the Napolitan style, maybe more than that. So it's not like all the pizzerias are Napolitan. You have to actually search them out to find them. There are plenty of them out there, but all the signs that you see as you're walking on the street says pizzeria, pizzeria, pizzeria. Typically, that's Roman style pizza. And then every once in a while you find one that's a Napolitan style. And every once in a while you find one that does both. But that's not very often. So this Pizzeria 77, in my opinion, was the best Napolitan style pizza that I had. And I had just come from Naples. And when I came here, I had it was a close second for sure. Every time it's been fantastic. I usually get the margarita. The pizza sauce and the dough was perfect here. We're gonna move on to the Roman style pizza. Now, right next to Pizzeria 77, when I say right next, it's 2 or 3 doors down, there's actually a place called Ai Marmi. it's a pizzeria. It's been around for decades. It serves the Roman round. If you love the Roman round, the Roman style pizza, this is a great place to get it. The crust overall was good. It's very thin, like I said. It's got those little burnt edges. They have lots of styles to choose from. Now I'm gonna disclose up front, Roman round is not my favorite style of pizza. It is good. I like the breads and doughs and the flavor of the dough of the Napolitan style, where these type of pizzas, you taste the cheeses, you taste the ingredients and things like that. And it might be your style, but for me, I like the breads, and I didn't really capture the bread taste in these pizzas, the Roman style pizza. I think it's a good attempt of a pizza. It's a pretty looking pizza, but for me, it's just not my thing. But not to say it was bad, it was still very good. And that's Ai Marmi. The second place, let's back out here. That was right there in Trastevere, and the second place is also right here. This is right here, if you recognize this square here, this is Piazza Navona. And right down this main street, you got this main street here. It's a real fun street to walk down, just maybe 200 yards from the Piazza Navona. There's a pizzeria place called Pizzeria Da Baffetto. If you've heard of Frigidarium, it's basically right next to that gelateria. And this, to me, was, of the Roman style pizzas, this was my favorite. It was a nice restaurant. Again, they had indoor dining and they had patio dining. But I thought that they just did a better job. The crust, or the edge around the pizza was just crispy and burnt enough to where it gave that complexity to the flavor. And the toppings, I had the special pizza they make there is the Da Baffetto pizza. It's got a cracked egg and a lot of toppings on it. But again, it's the crust was kind of tasteless because it's so thin. You're tasting mainly the cheeses and the sauces and all the ingredients that they stick on there. But for the Roman style of the ones that I had, I thought this was a very good one. And definitely if you want to try that Roman round, there's lots of them to choose from. But of the ones that I've had, these were my two favorite. Quick interruption to tell you about some exciting news. We just launched a Rome Travel Guide. It's called Rome Travel Guida. You can get it. I'll put a link in the description. It's $20, but we have a code to get half off, so it's only costing you $10. It's limited time. We think the guide will be very helpful for you if you're visiting Rome for the first time or the 10th time. We've got interactive maps, best pizzerias, best restaurants, best street food, all kinds of features in this guide. We think you're gonna love it. Now we're gonna move on to the Taglio style pizza. Let's go here to the Taglio. Now, on the Taglio, let's zoom out here a little bit. It's a pan pizza, so the bottom of the pizza, if it's done right, is very crispy, but not crunchy. And then the top is soft, and the dough is kind of medium. It's not like real thick or anything like that, but it's not thin either. Has a nice flavor to it, but it's all about the toppings. And to be honest with you, Taglio pizza is not as appetizing as like the Napolitan style. Sometimes you look at it and it just looks kind of stale and it looks a little bit not that great, right? They put it back in the oven briefly to reheat it before giving it to you. And I don't know, I just love it. I think it tastes way better than it looks. And let me tell you about the three favorite places here. We're gonna start down here. This is kind of becoming a theme right down here in Trastevere. Now this is also, you got the Pizza 77 right here, which is Napolitan. You got Ai Marmi, which is right here, and then you have Sesamo, which is right here. And there's three lined up in a row. They're all three different styles. So if it's convenient and you're there in one day and you want to try all three in one day, this would be the place to do it, because you can just go start at one door, go down the next, try each style of pizza. It's the same owner that runs it all the time. Every time I've been there's the same guy, and he's a hustler, and he does a phenomenal job. And there's one pizza in there that was my favorite flavor of pizza I've ever had in Italy, and it's called the Amatriciana pizza. I've gone to other Taglio stores and asked them if they have the Amatriciana flavor, and none of them have had it that I found. This guy makes one, he calls it the Amatriciana. So not every time when you go there, they're gonna have the Amatriciana, because they rotate the different flavors, but oftentimes they do. And if they do, I strongly recommend you get a bite of it. It's simply incredible. We're gonna go to another one called Pizza Florida.
I just wanna fight for a cause.
Now, if you don't recognize this, this is Torre Argentina. This is where Caesar was assassinated. And there's a pizza place right here. The crust is always perfect. The flavors are always awesome. The toppings are great. It's reasonably priced. It's just a great example of a perfect Taglio pizzeria. Sometimes you go to places, you have a great experience, you go back the next time, you're not so good. You want to get a pizza, I'm 100% confident when you go there, your pizza will be awesome. Now the flavor, I like a lot of them here. My favorite one there is called carbonata. It's kind of yellow looking, like cheddar cheese, I guess. In America, we call it cheddar cheese, yellow looking. And this is one of the ones that really doesn't look that appetizing. They have some others that look really good, like basil and fresh mozzarella, and I love that one too. I went there a bunch of times without trying it because it just didn't look that good. But one time, I went ahead and said, hey, let me try the carbonara. And then I was like, hey, this stuff is really good. And I like it almost as much as the amatriciana over at the at Sesamo Pizza. The carbonara here is fantastic. Now, we're gonna talk about Pinsa Pizza. And there are two pizzerias that I think are awesome. And one of them, let's back out here so I can see this here. But this pizzeria here, it's not open on the weekends, unfortunately, just Monday through Friday. They serve their pizza to basically a Roman crowd, and they have a little patio dining out there, but this place is fantastic. For Pinsa Pizza, this was my number one. It was fantastic, loved it. And the last place I'm gonna bring up to you is a place over by the Vatican called Pinsa MPO.
It's a beautiful day at the beach. I was losing my mind for about a week.
And it's not far from the Vatican. You can see here's the Vatican. And if you walk down here, this is the street that heads to the metro. From the Vatican, the metro station's like right here. So right down here, there's a square here. Let me show you. As you're walking away from the Vatican, you come up to this square, and then anyway, the pizzeria is right down the street. It's called Pizza MPO, and very similar to Pinsere. The pizzas there cost around, depending on the flavor you get, anywhere from 5 to 7 euros. They're fairly inexpensive, and it's a great place to grab something on the go or sit down there. There's a few tables right out in front of the station. There's a little bar right inside the place you can sit down on. Not a ton of seating, but the pizza there is phenomenal. So those are the 4 styles of pizza. Now, which is my favorite? I like the Taglio because of all the varieties, and that's, so that would be probably my favorite. And I like the texture of the Taglio style pizza. So Taglio is my favorite style of pizza. Some are better than others. I've actually had some really bad Taglio pizza. I mean, where I couldn't even finish it. So it's not all good. That's my favorite. So my overall number 1 pizzeria in Rome is, drumroll, Pizza Florida. I love the place. I've been there dozens of times, and I've never had a bad piece of pizza from Pizza Florida. My least favorite, unfortunately, is the Roman style pizza. It's just not for me, but a lot of people love it, so don't be discouraged by my comments. Definitely take advantage of the 4 styles of pizza while you're in Rome, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to learn more about Rome Travel Guida, that's our new travel guide, be sure to check this video out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Alla prossima, ciao.